Welcome to the German Championship of 2026 in Pforzheim, Germany. I'm Fruzina Wilhelm.
And I'm Micha Bartels, and we welcome in the Congress Centrum of Pforzheim.
We're very excited to start with the first round, which is going to be the preliminary round A of the solo competition. We're going to be tuning in for the welcome of the organizers, and we're going to see the competition start very soon.
And we will have around 220 participants going in this round. And yeah, later then we have the second leg of the individual.
All these competitors are here to get a spot in the final, which is going to be on Sunday. That is going to be the individual final, and it's going to be a very exciting competition with some really exciting puzzles in the future.
Yeah, and the puzzles are unreleased, so nobody knows the puzzle. And yeah, I'm excited to see this puzzle later. We will relieve it with you in the live stream, and yeah, we're excited to see the puzzles.
The top competitors of Germany are going to be here today, and there are some very exciting prizes as well, since the first place, the German champion, is going to get their trip sponsored to the World Championship of 2026 in Valladolid, Spain.
Yeah, and later in the day we have the second competition for the individual round, and later in the noon we have then the teams competition, and the teams is then already the final. So then we have the teams competition, yeah, and it's an exciting day. And tomorrow then we will have the individual final and the pairs final. So that's the 2 days full of puzzling with exciting new puzzles, and yeah, we're glad that you're tuning in. And yeah, maybe, yeah, do you have?
Behind us, you can already see that the competitors are lining up to their tables, finding their places, only to find out what puzzle they are going to be doing in this round of the individual solo preliminary. Also, it's going to be a jam-packed weekend. Most people are going to be competing in all 3 rounds, so there's going to be a lot of puzzling involved today.
Diejenigen Zuschauer, die dort auf der Treppe sitzen oder hier auf der Treppe stehen, muss ich auffordern, die Treppe zu räumen. Die Treppe gehört mit zum Flug.
Just some instructions from Moni from the Puzzle Association, yeah, and the viewers.
Sind wir fertig? Miha and me are going to go back to our seating areas where we're going to be watching the competition with you and hopefully commentate some wisdom while the puzzlers are going to be fighting it out for spots in the final.
Yeah. Then see you later on the desk, and yeah, having fun with the live stream. And now the introduction from the Puzzle Association will follow, where every puzzler is welcomed.
Macht euch mal bereit, es geht in wenigen Augenblicken, geht's gleich los.
Du sollst hier hinstehen. Da, wo
frei sind, nehmt bitte Platz. Schön, vielen Dank auch dafür, dass Ruhe einkehrt. Wir sind gerade noch dabei, die letzten Plätze aufzufüllen. Klein wenig Geduld bitte noch. Soll ich aufrufen?
Ja, frag mal.
Wir suchen eine Nachrückerin, eine noch vermisste Teilnehmerin, Ramona Thies. Ramona Thies, bist du hier im Haus? Bist du hier im Raum? Und dann suchen wir eine Puzzlerin aus Portugal, Josefa Fonseca. Josefa Fonseca, bitte, bist du hier? Wir suchen noch weitere Personen. Lea Bentlage. Lea Bentlage. Wenn du im Raum bist, bitte sofort an deinen Platz. Weiter, Stefanie Heinemann. Stefanie Heinemann winkt schon. Marion Hummel. Marion Hummel, bist du anwesend? Eine weitere Dame, Barbara Weidler. Barbara Weidler, bitte es melden, wenn du anwesend bist. Und aus Österreich Julia Krummenacker. Julia Krummenacker, bitte. Irmengard Hirtenstocker. Entschuldigung. Irmengard Hinterstocker, bitte. Gib ein Handzeichen, wenn du es bist. Wir suchen noch Hanna Schäfer. Hanna Schäfer, bist du im Raum anwesend? Hanna Schäfer, bitte. Nochmal ein Hinweis an die Personen auf der Treppe. Der Herr mit der hellen Jacke, die Treppe gehört zum Fluchtwegprogramm. Sie dürfen die Treppe nicht als Zuschauerplatz benutzen. Wir suchen eine Nachrückerin, Ann-Kathrin May. Ann-Kathrin May. Noch einmal der Aufruf an Lea Wendlage. Lea Wendlage bitte. Nummer 2, Marion Hummel. Marion Hummel. Und die Nummer 3, Barbara Weidler. Barbara Weidler. Letzter Aufruf, dann füllen wir mit der Warteliste auf. So, der letzte Aufruf aus der Warteliste. Wir greifen jetzt die Warteliste nochmal an. Adriana, halt, stopp, Korrektur. Doch, stimmt. Adriana Steinhäuser aus der Warteliste. Komm bitte. Hier zu dem Mann hier. Adriana, hier zu ihm. Hier zu diesem Mann. Die nächste aus der Warteliste, Sarah Willausch. Sarah Willausch aus der Warteliste. Bist du Sarah Willausch? Ja. Die nächste Dame aus der Warteliste, eine Sabine Kerber. Sabine Kerber, bitte. Hier, hol deinen Zettel, deinen Laufschein. Julian. Fasshauer. Noch eine Dame aus der Warteliste hat die Chance teilzunehmen. Eine Elke Fasshauer. Elke Fasshauer, bitte. machen aber trotzdem unsere Begrüßung, oder? Wissen wir.
Ich weiß, wie ich heiße. Hallo zusammen. Hallo. Herzlich willkommen hier bei uns. Mein Name ist Michael Smith. Ich bin Vorstand vom Puzzleverein Deutschland e.V. und möchte euch ganz herzlich begrüßen. Es ist toll zu sehen, wie viele da sind und von überall hergekommen sind. Hello, my name is Michael Smith from the German Puzzle Association. And I want to say hello to everybody and nice to see you come here, and we hope we have a nice weekend. We are well prepared. The puzzles are all here, and yeah, wish you good luck and have fun.
Vielen Dank, Michael, für die Begrüßungsworte. Hallo, liebe Puzzlegemeinde. Auch von mir ein herzliches Willkommen hier in Pforzheim zu unserer zweiten Deutschen Puzzlemeisterschaft. Wenn ich so in die Halle schaue und auf die Tribüne schaue, sehe ich viele bekannte Gesichter, viele vertraute Gesichter, einige sehr gute Freunde. Ich sehe aber auch Personen, die ich noch nicht kenne, die vielleicht zum ersten Mal bei uns sind und so. Deshalb möchte ich mich auch vorstellen. Mein Name ist Ronny Warwas und ich begleite euch als Moderator durch dieses Wochenende. Neben mir steht unsere Isabel. Isabel ist unsere zweite Vereinsvorsitzende. Sie ist die zentrale Schlüsselfigur dieser Veranstaltung und gleichzeitig ist sie die gute Seele von unserem Verein. Isabel, ich übergebe das Wort an dich.
Seite herzliches Willkommen. Ich hatte einen ähnlichen Gedanken wie Ronny. Das letztes Mal bei der ersten Deutschen Puzzlemeisterschaft, als ich hier oben gestanden bin, habe ich einen Großteil der Gesichter nicht gekannt. Und jetzt gucke ich mich um und sehe einfach viele Leute, die ich kenne und eben viele Freunde. Und das ist sehr, sehr schön zu beobachten. Und es sind viele neue Leute dabei und viele potenzielle weitere neue Freunde. Und das finde ich sehr, sehr schön. Also mir gefällt das sehr gut. Ich möchte mich kurz fassen, weil wir den Zeitplan schon ein bisschen gestretched haben durch die vielen Nachrücker. First of all, welcome to our international guests. There are some international guests that had long journeys to travel here, and I'm really proud that they came. We will do all the introductions basically in German, and Ronny is going to make the introductions to the rounds, but I think he will be good to understand, especially for profi speed puzzlers. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Just ask. Es gibt noch zwei Leute, die ich gerne vorstellen möchte. Das eine ist die Liana. Komm doch mal bitte kurz in die Nähe, dass wir dich sehen können. Die Liana ist der Schnittpunkt zwischen unserem Livestream-Team, was hinter der Bühne sitzt, und euch, und ist sozusagen diejenige, die Interviewgäste von hier hinter die Bühne in den Livestream führt. Und also nicht wundern, wenn sie auf euch zukommt. Und falls ihr schon Interview-Appointments ausgemacht habt, dann ist sie euer Ansprechpartner und das Gesicht, was ihr sucht sozusagen. Genau, den zweiten, den ich gerne vorstellen möchte, ist der Bernd Holler. Wo ist er? Da. Der Bernd übernimmt dieses Jahr die Funktion des Oberschiedsrichters. Das heißt, wenn es Fragen gibt für die Auswertungen oder sowas, ist er euer Hauptansprechpartner und auch für die Helfer, die zur Zeitmessung eingetragen sind, ist der Bernd euer Hauptansprechpartner. Was gibt es für Neuerungen? Vieles ist ja ähnlich wie letztes Jahr, aber es gibt ein paar Neuerungen. Die Halle ist ein bisschen größer geworden. Wir haben zusätzlich zu dem bereits bekannten und sehr beliebten Ravensburger Store einen T-Shirt-Druck-Store. Wir haben eine Registrierung. Wir haben einige Regulierungen für die Presse zusätzlich eingeführt, versuchen etwas mehr Ordnung in der Wettbewerbshalle zu halten, als wir das letztes Jahr hatten. Wir haben eine extra Interviewzone eingeführt, damit die Interviews möglichst nicht in der Wettbewerbshalle gehalten werden und die Puzzler stören. Man lernt dazu. Und wir haben ein paar andere Formate eingeführt. Also wir haben diese lange Teamrunde mit den 4 Puzzeln. Wir haben die Paarrunde mit den 2 Puzzeln. Ich bin sehr gespannt, wie euch das gefällt und freue mich auch über Rückmeldungen diesbezüglich. Und eine der größten Änderungen, die wir haben, über die ich sehr glücklich bin und ich hoffe auch viele von euch, dass wir dieses Mal weitestgehend unbekannte Puzzle in den Runden haben. Und dafür möchte ich mich natürlich herzlich bedanken bei unserem Hauptsponsor, bei der Firma Ravensburger. Und als Vertreterin davon ist heute da die Lara Rosenkranz als Produkt- und Marketingmanagerin für den deutschen Bereich, die mit mir eng zusammengearbeitet hat seit Januar diesen Jahres. Sie hat die Rolle übernommen von Lena Bachhofer, die hier letztes Jahr mit mir stand. An der Stelle möchte ich einen ganz lieben Gruß an die Lena schicken, die zu Hause sitzt und leider nicht kommen kann und uns sicherlich im Livestream verfolgen wird. Und ganz gespannt ist, wie die Puzzle, die wir ausgewählt haben, ankommen. Und jetzt übergebe ich aber das Wort an die Lara. Und nochmal herzlichen Dank für die gute Zusammenarbeit. Es macht wirklich viel Spaß mit euch.
Danke, danke. Kann ich nur zurückgeben. Ja, hallo und herzlich willkommen auch im Namen vom Ravensburger hier und heute bei der 2. Deutschen Puzzlemeisterschaft in Pforzheim. Es freut uns ganz arg, hier zu sein. Es freut mich ganz arg, euch alle hier und heute zu sehen, wie ihr gleich die Puzzle, die wir vorab und eben, Isabelle hat es eben schon gesagt, gemeinsam mit meiner Kollegin Lena ausgewählt habt, ja, wie ihr damit gleich puzzeln werdet und ich hoffe, sie machen euch ganz viel Freude. Es ist sehr besonders, hier zu sein als jemand, der tagtäglich mit Puzzeln und für Puzzle arbeitet und ja, zu sehen, wie viel Begeisterung die Produkte eben auslösen, wie viel Freude euch die Produkte machen. Das ist sehr, sehr viel wert und dafür sind wir sehr, sehr dankbar. Entschuldigung. Ja. Puzzeln ist ein Hobby, was ursprünglich eher eine Person zu Hause in Ruhe, ein Me-Time-Hobby, sag ich mal, ist. Und es ist wirklich toll zu sehen, wie gerade in den letzten Jahren einfach Puzzeln zu einem Community-Phänomen geworden ist, wie es nicht nur Teile, sondern einfach Menschen auf der ganzen Welt, in ganz Deutschland, auf der ganzen Welt verbindet und zusammenbringt und wie ihr einfach als faszinierte und passionierte Puzzler immer wieder zusammenkommt und euch in euren Bestzeiten meistert. An der Stelle auch heute die Deutsche Meisterschaft, ein Moment, ein wichtiger Moment im Jahr, zu dem ihr alle zusammenkommt und an der Stelle ein Riesen-Dankeschön an Isabelle und den ganzen Puzzleverein für die Vorbereitung, für die ganze Arbeit und Mühe, die hier reingesteckt wurde. Vielen, vielen Dank, es hat mir sehr viel Freude gemacht, hier mit gestalten zu dürfen und wie gesagt, großes Dankeschön, großen Respekt an alles, was ihr hier auf die Beine gestellt habt. Aber fast noch wichtiger, ein riesengroßes Dankeschön an euch alle, die ihr heute hier seid, sowohl auf der Zuschauertribüne als auch hier vorne und später noch
bei den verschiedenen Wettkämpfen. Ohne euch, ohne eure Begeisterung und euer Engagement wäre das hier alles nicht möglich. Daher der allergrößte Applaus gilt wirklich euch. Vielen, vielen Dank. Ja, zu guter Letzt bleibt mir jetzt nur noch zu sagen, ich wünsche euch ganz viel Erfolg, ich wünsche euch spannende Competitions heute und vor allem ganz, ganz viel Spaß. Dankeschön.
Vielen Dank, Clara, für die freundlichen Worte. Dankeschön. Und für die netten, schönen Wünsche. Schön. Dankeschön. So, liebe Freunde, wir sind ein bisschen 6 Minuten hinterm Zeitplan zurück. Wir beginnen jetzt. Hat jeder vor sich ein Puzzle liegen? Vor euch, noch in diesem wunderschönen Ravensburger Rucksack versteckt, befindet sich ein 500er Puzzle. Achtung, das Puzzle ist bereits aufgeschnitten. Das heißt, die Verschlusspunkte, die Verschlussklebepunkte sind alle durchtrennt. Die offizielle Wettbewerbszeit seht ihr hier auf der Leinwand oben in der Ecke. Ich werde den Wettbewerb mit einem Countdown starten. Nach genau 1 Stunde werde ich dies ansagen, dass 60 Minuten vergangen sind. Ebenso verkünde ich den Beginn der letzten 10 Minuten sowie die letzten 60 Sekunden des Durchgangs. Jetzt fangen wir an. Jetzt die Frage an euch alle. Seid ihr bereit? Fünf, 4, 3, 2, 1, los geht's!
And we are live here. And welcome to the single preliminary round A.
We are seeing the competitors already unpacking the puzzle, and it's a super exciting image. I'm not going to hide my excitement. It's an artwork by Laura C. Moyer, and some might have already seen this image at the Irish competition earlier this year, but it's important to note that in Germany this puzzle has not yet been made available. And I'm just very, very excited to have this image. It's, I think it's going to be a fast one. Super sortable. There's so many little details that you can grab for if you're someone who likes that kind of puzzle, but also if you're into colors and gradients, there's something in there for you. Those planets, for example, are very easy to pick out immediately, and there's also those little details in the middle, some of the sand that might be very easy to sort, so there's a lot of things that you can grab for. How would you start this puzzle, Micha?
I would do a big sort. Like you said, it's very sortable, so you can sort the different planets. And but I would start maybe with the planets. I think so. They stand out. They have different colors, and we have a smaller wet planet than a big orange one, the yellow one, the turquoise one, and the blue one. It's on the border. So that I would start with. And you, Frudy?
Most likely, I would grab for the little details in the middle, which is a camper van and a camper and a kayak and all of these little details, but also probably I would end up sorting. Most likely, I would also do the edge, which you're going to be seeing from a lot of competitors as they are doing the full flip right now on the screen. A lot of them are already sorting out the edge as well, because it can be a very good reference point, so you can fill out the image from the edge inwards, but also this is the kind of puzzle where you can't really go wrong. There's always a detail that you can start with. So it's very nice for all of the competitors that are in this preliminary round A of the German Championship. It has been asked in the chat of how many people are competing, so we're going to tell you some statistics, I think.
Yeah, we have 220 total in this round A, and also 220 then later in round B, and 110 will in total go into the finals in both rounds. So then we have 220 also total in the final tomorrow on Sunday morning. It's going to be 110 in total. 101 for the fastest puzzlers, and then we have 3 spots for the 3 fastest under 18, 3 spots for the over or above 50 years old, and the 3 fastest international puzzlers.
And obviously these numbers can overlap as well. So if the 3 fastest internationals are in the top 3, for example, or top 10, then those spots are also going to be integrated into the fastest one. So pretty much, if there's not much changing, then the fastest 110 are going to be advancing into the final today. And we are about 3.5 minutes into the puzzle, and with a lot of puzzlers, we can already see that the majority of them are done with the full flip in the beginning, and they are just trying to find the very first thing that they can grab for in this image.
Yeah, and Fruji, what do you think? What time does the fastest puzzler does on this puzzle? What is your expectation?
Well, thinking of how the sport has been speeding up in the past year, I would maybe even risk an under 30 on this one, especially considering that some of the top German competitors are in this round as well. We have our 2nd place from the German championship from last year, Nina Schicks, for example, who can very likely do something around 30 on a puzzle like this. But we also have some top competitors who are in this round, so we're going to be seeing some insanely fast times here.
Yeah, I agree on that. My guess would be 32 minutes, but maybe in the chat, maybe you can also guess timing and what times are going to expect.
Yes, so you can make your guesses, as it has been tradition at puzzle live streams before. Just write your guess in the comments of what the first finisher is going to have as a time for this preliminary round on the puzzle, which is called, I don't think we have said the name of the puzzle yet, which is Campsite.
And the German name is Camping unter dem Kosmos. So a larger German name, and yeah, it's definitely a great title for this puzzle.
And a lot of people are already working on the edge here. Yeah, sections of the edge are being built all around the place. This is a very good reference point for a lot of competitors. There are always debates going on whether an edge-first approach is a must or not. Or there are people who are completely edge-first. There are people who never do the edge. We could see Susanna here doing definitely an edge-first. Also Mona on her table. She was 9th in the singles last year. So she's also going to be probably one of the first runners of this round. And most of the people are working on the edge so far. As far as I can see, we are also getting a guest very soon. So we are going to work around here a little bit with the technique, and we are going to be welcoming our first guest of today so that we can discuss the puzzle a little bit. We have
the reigning German champion.
The reigning German champion, Kathy Reiner, here.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How is it for you to be here today?
Oh, it's great. The atmosphere is great. It's great to see all the puzzlers. It's great to be around the competition environment. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the whole weekend.
Are you feeling any kind of stress being the reigning champion, having to maybe defend the title?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I feel like today it's okay-ish because it's only the preliminary round, and in the team I have my friends, and then only for tomorrow I'm going to be more nervous.
That is a good point. So you're having a new team now starting.
Yeah. Yes. It's Chiara, who is my pairs partner and my former teammate for all the last years, and then Kerstin and Maria.
Yeah, that's also going to be a strong team for sure. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the puzzle.
Yes.
What do you think? How would you approach this?
I didn't get a chance to look at it properly yet, so I have to look at it a bit. So I think it's a great puzzle. First of all, it looks very pretty. The sky is very nice because it has this gradient, but also color blocky aspects with the planets. Yeah, and then it has some details with the camping side here and the car. So I think it's a good puzzle for different types of puzzlers. I don't think it's going to be a fast one. Yeah. But I've gotten bad at estimating how fast puzzles are, so I would have said maybe 35, but
I'm extremely confident. I'm still thinking that it's going to be somewhere around the 30s. I think where we can get a sub 35 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw Nina have completed the edge at the border, so yeah, at 8 minutes.
We are around 8 minutes at this point, and as far as we can see, most of the competitors are working on the edge, actually. I haven't really seen any tables that are going in for a pick and place, for example, or just starting to work on blocks.
Yeah, interestingly, because I think the puzzle is actually one you could solve by not doing the edge. Especially starting with the planets would be, I think, my approach. And then you could also start only from the left side doing the dark greens. It's hard to tell how good you can tell the pieces apart, because most of the time you see it better on the pieces and not on the image. So it's hard for me to say that. But yeah, these are maybe some starting points. But I think many puzzles like to have the edge and have some orientation and have something fixed they can start with, especially if they are not attending competitions very regularly. Then this might be something that gives you some, mental stability.
So then, if I got it correctly, then you're not a strictly edge first person.
No, I almost never start with the edge, except it's something super busy.
Yeah, so when you really need something as a reference point and more pick and place?
If there's nothing else you could start with, then I start with the edge.
Yeah, I just keep thinking about like what I would start with. I did see on a big number of tables that people have been doing a very thorough sort, and they're trying to just get as many of the colors as possible to be arranged, as we have seen on the screen just now. Yes, there's different colors all over, and I think we're going to let Kati go back to the competition and observe from the sides. Thank you very much for visiting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we are nearing the 10-minute mark and seeing Caroline Arnsmeier on the screen. And she also has a big majority of the edge already done. And I do see some little detail. And then we're seeing Chiara Dell'Antonio, who is the reigning champion of Italy, but she does live in Germany and is going to be also competing with Kati, as she was saying earlier. And she basically has the entire sky done.
Yeah, and that is impressive at the 10-minute mark. And yeah, we see at the other tables, or we saw that different approaches. Some, we see it here as doing a big sort up front, but some of them only do the border and then just pick the pieces for a planet or so, and then assemble that, and doing not that big sorting up front. And yeah, do you like big sorting up front, Fuji?
No.
No.
No, I am safe to say I'm one of those people who, if I'm doing a solo competition, it's very different for teams and pairs. I think there a thorough sort helps way more. But for me, an individual, I grab for too many things. And we're seeing some board work, which is great. I do like that in a solo competition. These boards can help you a lot to navigate the pieces all around the table. It can help you do it faster, to move everything around so that you can zoom around the puzzle way more, and you don't have to keep picking up pieces. You can just move around everything as you are working. So that can also be very, very helpful. If you're watching the stream and you're a speed puzzler yourself, these streams can be incredibly useful, and we're seeing some more boards.
More boards stacked on another by Marcus.
That is one very thorough sort.
Yeah, definitely. You can see.
So yes, if you're a speed puzzler yourself, you might also be watching these live streams so that you can see some techniques that you might have not tried out before, and you can just peek a little into how the top puzzlers of Germany are doing these puzzles. And
here we see Lydia, and she's also very, very, very strong, and that looking very promising here. And also good progress by Marta. Marta also having almost done the sky. The planets are, they're still left, but really strong here.
As we were kind of predicting, somewhere around 30-35 minutes-ish for this puzzle, for the first finisher, we do want to see at 12 20-something seconds to have at least about a third completed on the puzzle. And we did see that for some people. And we're looking at Lara Friedrich here, who is definitely working on that gradient sky, the bottom of it, with all those pinks and yellows. So if you're someone with a gradient preference on puzzles, then that sky is giving you a lot of room for movement.
Yeah, and we saw that most people started with the sky, but also we saw that also the bottom, so the water and the beach, also resembled by some puzzlers up front.
We can see a lot of different approaches. Like here, for example, Nadine is working on the water. So as we were saying in the beginning, I think you mentioned it as well, that there's just so many different elements that are bigger color blocks. So you always have something that you can reach for. And there's no wrong way to start this puzzle, which I think is very good, especially for a preliminary round, because here you are getting puzzlers from all around the range of experience. So you want a puzzle that is challenging, but also still doable for people.
Doable in the 90 minutes. And earlier we saw the big venue, the new venue here. No, so last year we were in Leonberg, also a great venue. But today's competition and this year's competition is in Pforzheim with a bigger venue, also better for the spectators. So we have more room for spectators. So that is really, really cool in having this location.
It is something that I have wanted to point out, that the venue is very nice for this kind of competition. We also have really long tables. They are 70 times 180 as far as I can remember, and are, as you can see, shared by 2 people. So it's basically cut in half. And you see different table arrangements, people sitting opposite each other, which can also be very useful because you don't get in each other's way with, for example, the puzzle box. So you don't have to make space for that. You can distribute yourself the way you want. Like here, for example, you see the competitors sitting opposite each other, but the table next to them, so on the top left corner, you can see they're sitting next to each other. So there's a lot of freedom of movement, there's a lot of space as well, so it's comfortable, and it's a very professional and I would even say fancy environment.
Yeah, it's definitely good. And yeah, just talk to your neighbor on the table, and then you figure out how you want to sit, what suits for you best. So that is also, and it's also depending where the table is located. So maybe that you want to have an overview about the room, etc. But yeah, it's a great venue, and having a good time. Yeah, and we see Nina also having done a lot of the sky and the planet, looking really strong here at the 15 minutes mark.
And then the entire water section done on this table. I can't exactly see who it is because it's just hands, but a big part of that is already also done. Here at this table, we've got a big majority of the sky done. So at the 15-minute mark, Finn has also, I think, a third of the puzzle done. So we're going to get very quick times on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
And as you might have already noticed on the stream itself, the people who are participating in this competition are also in puzzle gear, a lot of them. We are also going to see a lot of mascots on the table. So the whole championship has a real championship feeling, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and there will be a mascot meeting today at 2 o'clock in the venue hall. And then there is a mascot meetup. And that is also going to be great and shared on social media. And I think also the social media team of Puzzleverein also will share some impressions afterwards on Instagram, etc.
And if you want to tune in for the results and see how everything is going in the championship, you can also take a look on the website of the German Puzzle Association, where everything is going to be updated real time. So the results are going to be coming in as they are happening.
And there we see Chiara located on table 1B, so right next to Nina, and definitely one of the fastest puzzlers here in this round. And right back.
Antonia is also done pretty much with the entire coastline and the water in the middle, and basically going from there, building from the bottom right edge to the left.
Yeah, and you see that the sky is also sorted, and then you see a big pile of green puzzle pieces, and I think that will be the part where most puzzles will finish. So the just the trees and etc. That will be the section I think 95% of the puzzles will end up doing it. Do you agree with that?
Yes, you're very, very correct. I think as we were saying that there's no wrong way to start this puzzle, there's pretty much one way that people are going to be ending it, and that is the trees on the side, because that's definitely not an easy part. That is, I think, the challenging area of the entire puzzle. It's a lot of repetition. The trees all have these branches that are just lines everywhere, so it's harder to distinguish which piece is going to which part. But I would also basically think that it's actually not as many pieces as you would expect. So on a 500-piece puzzle like this, you're going to, I would estimate, about 30 pieces that are all those trees. What do you think?
I just was focused on Jörn.
It's all right.
Sorry. And we saw Jörn from Pythagoras and doing also a good improvement on this puzzle. Yeah. And here we see the trophies, so looking very cool. So we have made of glass and looking really cool. Have the trophies here.
And we're getting an overhead view. And on these views, I actually really like looking at how many tables have just scattered pieces and how many actually have an assembled puzzle already. I really like the way that Antonia is working on this puzzle, though. The bottom right is basically entirely done, and she's filling in those spots in between. There's a patch of trees that she's working on in the middle there.
And then we see Caroline Ansmeyer, and she has done almost the sky and now working on the beach and looking also good here. And some of the planets are maybe missing or not assembled completely. And here we see Jessica also done most of the water sections and now tackling the sky. So that's looking also promising at the 19-minute mark.
Jessica's table also gives us a very good overview of how people are working on space management, while we're switching to Tamar Visser here from the Netherlands. She's the Dutch champion of 2025. So it's important to point out that even though it's a German championship, it is still open to international guests. They are going to be evaluated basically in a separate competition, in that they do puzzle with the Germans and they do the same rounds, but they are going to be in a different ranking. So they are not eligible for the champion title. We're moving on to Merle Kleemann here, who has been 18th in individual last year at the German championships, and since then she has only been getting faster.
Yeah, definitely. And here we see Roman, Roman we see here also having done almost the water, I guess. From this angle it's hard to see, but the water chances was completed.
What you can see here is that the table management gets pretty easy, as the tables themselves are not super wide, but they are not super deep, but they are pretty wide. So you can spread out very well in that you can have all your unassembled pieces on your left or spread around the puzzle, as with some people we have seen already. And you can just pretty much set up your table the way you want.
And you can puzzle in portrait and also landscape mode. So that is definitely enough space to do that.
Which might be a hint for any future rounds.
Maybe
we ourselves don't know what the puzzles are going to be. There might be a vertical puzzle coming up anytime.
Yeah, that could be. And here we see a split screen. I think, is it Nina on the left?
I think so.
I think so.
As we're coming in for the end, for the 21-minute mark, we are going to get a little bit more of split views so that we can see people progressing neck to neck.
Yeah, definitely. And then we see Nina, and she will finish on the greenery. So
most likely.
Most likely, yeah.
It's also important to note that for most puzzles, there are obviously some exceptions. If you just think of any puzzles in the world, but the more into the puzzle you get, the more you get done, the faster you will also get. So you have more reference points. You can just navigate the pieces better. By the end, you also know the picture better. So if you pick something up, then you're also going to know better where it's going. With this one, it might be a little bit different because you have, as we were saying, that challenging section on the left where there's going to be a lot of patterns that you have to follow. So you can't that easily sort out what is happening. So we're going to have to see if all of these fast puzzlers are going to slow down or speed up around the end.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
We're also seeing Clara Wesselkamp here, who was 4th last year, both in singles and pairs at the German Championship. And so she's also, I would say, a contender for the top 10 spots right now. And she's looking great.
Yeah, looking really good. And she was in the fastest team of the fastest German team in at Worlds. So Eat Our Puzzle Dust, who got 7th place at Worlds. And here we see Claudia having done or finished the sky, and the planets almost, the sky is almost completed.
Incredible work here. We can also basically see that speed puzzling has been exploding in Germany. In a sense, it's not that surprising because Germany is also home to Ravensburger, so Ravensburg being in Germany. And puzzling is also a very beloved hobby in Germany in general, but there has just been so many competitors appearing all around the country, and now they are showing off their skills at the German Championship.
Yeah, and not only the German Championship, also in this year we had some other competitions in this year, also sponsored by Ravensburger, like the Puzzle Rush in Hamburg. So yeah, and that was a smaller event, but also really, really cool. And if you have time and you see a coming up event, just come to it and just come together, puzzle and having fun.
I did see a question in the chat, which is whether competitors are listening to music to blend out the sounds or to get them focused. And I think it's both for most people. There are a lot of competitors who have actually puzzling playlists and have specific songs for a specific time so that they know how deeply into the puzzle they are. We're seeing an adorable mascot there. But so these puzzling playlists, they also help them orientate how much time has elapsed, because the puzzlers have no idea most of the time how much time has passed, because they don't look up at the timer. They are focusing on the puzzle.
It consumes time to look at the time.
So it can be very practical as well, but there's also people who just need to blend out everything outside. The noise cancelling headphones can help. Obviously, a competition environment is also very stressful.
Yeah, and we see here now Nina coming into the finish.
Pretty much the last.
Yeah, and I think you could be
30
right.
pieces?
I think she will finish under the 30-minute mark. She has 5 minutes to go, and maybe 40 pieces or so. We have 40 pieces, I would say, and yeah.
It is going to be a tricky section now, though. So those 5 minutes she's going to have to make those 5 minutes count. And we're looking at Sigrun here, who has a big portion of the edge done and also the water. And I think doing incredible progress on the beach right now.
Yeah.
And then a big chunk of the sky completed on this table. This is Denise.
Denise, yeah.
See. Yes, also an extremely fast puzzler from Germany.
Definitely, yeah, one of the top puzzlers.
At the 25-minute mark, almost going into 26. Also using some boards with some organization. But Ramona here is also doing a different approach, puzzling from the box.
Yeah, and for puzzling out of the box, it's a really impressive progress here at the 26-minute mark.
Basically, she's just picking out pieces from the box and looking at them and placing them immediately, which also forms the image a little bit. But as you could see, for most of the tables, people do most of the time do a full flip to have all the pieces spread out in front of them. There are arguments for both methods, I think.
Definitely, yeah. It would be nice to see a split of the leaders. So Nina and Tamar maybe, or Chiara. So
I think there's a lot of competitors who are closing in for the last third of their competition right now, for their competition puzzles. And we're seeing one of our under-18 competitors here.
Yeah, Leonie, 11 years old, one of the youngest competitors in the individual round.
And this is important to point out because there is going to be a junior champion of Germany this year as well. Forming the edge here at table, as far as I can see, 34. We are at 27 minutes, and I think that's also a third of the puzzle done. And Nina is closing in on the last couple of pieces, but she is very much ahead compared to Tamar, for example, who is on the other screen.
She is ahead, and yeah, definitely, but Tamar also having really good progress. And yeah, but starting now at the wood section, tree sections, and Nina is closing in.
And Tamar is also showing a very good example of how the hard part of the puzzle stays for the end, because that is basically kind of the same color everywhere. It's this yellowish green that kind of like mixes, and it's harder to see what is going on the pieces.
And here we see Maike also having good progress. The beach is completely done, and almost the water is completed, and now working on the sky and the big planets.
And at 28 minutes, Nina Schicks is on her last 10 pieces. This is going to be a sub 30.
Yeah, definitely. And so you were right. So
It has definitely.
the last 5 pieces.
Yes.
2, 1, and the
one.
last one.
And done.
Congratulations,
First
Nina.
place for Nina Schicks. Last year's vice champion, who's going into the finals from first place in the preliminary round.
Yeah.
And
So
with an incredible time. 28,
20
20
seconds.
20 something.
Yeah.
For sure. 27 maybe? Yes, so first spot is taken of the 110 that are going into the final. We're watching Julia here, also placed at the Austrian Championship, and I think she was also about 2/3 into the puzzle. I think we are going to see some of the front runners still in the low 30s, but then there's also going to be a huge wave of finishers around, I think, 40, 42, 45.
45, yeah, I would say that also.
Speed puzzling has been getting extremely fast over the past 2 years, so it's more and more regular to get under 45 minutes, closer to 40 at these large championships.
And here we see Chiara. Chiara also closing in on the greenish parts, and yeah, having also maybe 40 to 50 pieces left, and really strong here.
With basically just the green.
Yeah, just the greens.
Mona is also closing in for the greens. I think that's basically a strategy that we're going to see on pretty much all of the tables.
Oh, we see Lydia here also having really good progress here. And yeah, second in singles under 18s. So one of the fastest, youngest puzzler in Germany. And yeah, she is also she has evolved in the last year.
Yes, I think once we see someone who already has the green section done, we're going to have to give a shout out to that person.
Oh, a piece is missing.
Piece fell.
Oh, no.
9. No.
No.
We also saw a very good strategy here. Basically switching from top to bottom. Working on the sky from one side of the table and working on the ground from the other. That is also something that is possible now with this table arrangement.
Yeah, with this table arrangement that is possible, and that is also good. And that will be also good in pairs and also in teams competition. So
Yes.
there's enough space to move around the table and change the location where you puzzle. And sometimes you need just a fresh view of the puzzle. So just change the...
Yes. There are also some people who just flip the puzzle at one point to get a new perspective. If you get this hyper-focused on something that you're doing for 30 plus minutes, 40 minutes, then it can very much refresh your brain to get a new perspective of the puzzle. And we're seeing Lena also closing in on the green areas, pretty much only green sections left. And that's about, I would say about 100 pieces of the entire puzzle, basically these green areas that are really challenging. And that's also what makes this puzzle really good for the preliminary round, because there's a very doable area and then there's one that is going to challenge the skills of the competitors. And as far as I can hear, we're going to be getting another guest coming in for the live stream, which is going to be Nina Schicks, who has just won the preliminary round. Now, it's important to note, this is going to be an interview in German, and I'm going to be doing a translation for you in English.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Nina.
Dankeschön.
Wie war deine Reaktion, als du das Puzzle gesehen hast?
als du es ausgepackt hast?
Ich war sehr glücklich, weil es sah sehr schön aus. Es hat verschiedenste Farben und Strukturen. Deswegen war ich begeistert und hatte direkt von Anfang an Spaß an dem Puzzle.
Sehr schön. Womit hast du denn begonnen an dem Puzzle? Also was war das erste? Also hast du erst eine sehr große Sortierung gemacht oder wie bist du an das Puzzle herangegangen?
Ich habe tatsächlich zuerst den Rand rausgesucht, das mache ich meistens. Den habe ich auch als erstes gepuzzelt und dann war ich auch verunsichert, okay, in welcher Ecke fange ich an? Ich habe dann die gewählt, die mir als erstes ins Auge gesprungen ist. Das war zum einen unten das Wasser, das war nicht so viel. Und dann die Planeten und den Farbverlauf im Himmel. Genau.
Sehr schön. Das war komplett neu für dich.
Basically, the question so far was how she found the puzzle, and she was extremely excited because the puzzle is very nice and it has a lot of colors and gradient, which is very much cutting into her skills. So she was very excited to start, and that was exactly the second question of how she progressed through the puzzle. And basically, she sorted out the edge first, which she usually does, and also finished it as much as she could. And then she was a little bit lost of what to start with and basically picked out whatever jumped into her eyes, and that was the water, and pretty much navigated from there.
War das Puzzle komplett neu für dich? Hast du es schon mal gesehen? Fruity erwähnte, es auf der irischen Meisterschaft gezeigt oder auch dran kam. Also war das Bild für dich komplett neu oder hast du es schon mal vorher gesehen gehabt?
Das Bild habe ich vorher einmal kurz gesehen, das schon, aber dann auch nicht gepuzzelt oder so.
Ja.
Genau, deswegen war das auf jeden Fall eine sehr schöne Überraschung.
Ja, man muss sagen, genau, ein sehr, sehr schönes Puzzle, man kann es nur wiederholen.
The question was whether she has done the puzzle before. As we have mentioned earlier, it was used at an Irish championship before. And yes, Nina has seen the image, but hasn't completed it, as most likely most of the puzzlers here in the competition.
Und wir sind in einer neuen Location, wir sind nun in Pforzheim und nicht in Leonberg. Wie gefällt dir denn die neue Veranstaltungshalle hier?
Mir gefällt sie sehr gut. Wir haben einen schönen großen Vorraum, in dem man sich aufhalten kann.
And we see Clara Wesselkamp coming in second place.
Genau. Großen Puzzleshop von Ravensburger, das ist cool. Und auch der Veranstaltungsort, dass es so eine große Tribüne für die Zuschauer gibt, das finde ich auf jeden Fall auch sehr cool.
The question was how she found the location, since the competition has been moved from Leonberg. And basically, she finds it very comfortable. There is enough space for the spectators of the entire event. There's also a very spacious area in front of the hall, so you can very comfortably move around and don't feel too cramped. And we have seen another finisher from the same table as Clara, Tamar Vissa, our first international finisher.
Yeah, and there we have the first three finished here. Okay. Wie geht es jetzt für dich weiter? Du wirst noch im Paar puzzeln, dann morgen und heute im Team. Ihr trittet wieder als Titelverteidiger an im Fast Four. Genau, erzähl uns ein bisschen, also was steht noch für dich an heute?
Ja, genau. Jetzt erstmal eine kurze Pause, den anderen in Vorrunde B zuschauen. Da bin ich auch sehr gespannt auf das Motiv. Nachher das Team-Event, da bin ich sehr gespannt drauf. Also ich finde es eine coole Herausforderung, dass wir jetzt so viele Puzzle machen dürfen. Genau, und bin gespannt, ob wir das schaffen, in welcher Zeit wir das schaffen. Ja, genau.
The question was how she's going to go on from here after such a successful preliminary round. And how excited she is about basically protecting the title of German champion with the Fast Four in teams. And basically the next step for Nina is going to be to take a break and watch the second round to find out what the image is. And she's also very excited of the whole day because we get to puzzle a lot today. And that's a very big bonus because of the schedule, because of how the schedule has been put together. Everyone gets a chance to puzzle as much as they can today.
Vielleicht noch eine Frage. Als die Startlisten rauskamen, hast du dich gefreut, früh zu starten oder hättest du dir lieber andersrum gewünscht, später zu starten und dann eine Pause zu haben? Oder bist du jetzt froh, dass es hinter dir und kannst jetzt zuschauen, ganz entspannt und dann die Mittagspause und dann geht's ins Teamfinale?
Ich habe mich sehr gefreut, in der ersten zu sein, weil ich schon sehr nervös bin vor solchen Wettbewerben und nicht besonders lang schlafen kann. Dementsprechend bin ich froh, dass es jetzt direkt geschafft ist und nachher die Pause kommt.
One last question was how excited she, or how she found the schedule being in the first round. to be able to start this early. And basically Nina says that she's extremely happy to be in the first round because she tends to be very nervous before competitions like this. Congratulations, Jessica Wissler, who is also finished. And so being in the first round for Nina also means that she gets to get up early and doesn't have to force herself back to sleep in the morning and just get to puzzle and then have a little break before the rest of the competition.
Vielen Dank, Nina.
Dankeschön.
Bitteschön.
Thank you so much, Nina.
Und viel Erfolg noch und viel Spaß.
And we're seeing another finisher, Lydia Messner, is also done with 37:38.
Congratulations, Lydia.
We already have 5, 6 finishers? 7.
7, yeah.
No, this is the different camera angle.
So 6 or 7, yeah.
We're still way under 40 minutes.
And we have
Stefan
Stefan.
Enzler is also about to finish. Done.
He was third
37.
at the Swiss Championship. Really great time here, under 40 minutes.
It's again just a testament of how much the speed of the competition has increased. A couple of years ago, so many 38-minute finishes, like so many sub-40 finishes would have been impossible to imagine. And we are now seeing, I think, close to 10 people finished under 38 minutes, which is insane.
Yeah, definitely, that is insane. And yeah, here we see Mark from Pythagoras also finishing on the trees and yeah, having good progress here. And maybe 40 pieces left or so. 40 to 50 pieces. And here we see another finish.
Antonia Albani.
Antonia.
Also a
putting in the last-
Pythagoras member.
Also Pythagoras. Yeah, she's new. She's new on the team, Pythagoras. And they will be also a strong team. So we have Mark, Jörn, Antonia, and
Maren, I think.
yeah, definitely. And that
We are mentioning so much of Pythagoras because this is a very well-known team in Germany. They are, I think, one of the oldest teams to be present at competitions all around. They have also been to the World Championships multiple times. So it's a very well-known team in this area.
Last year they were second in the team event.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. And
So-
here we see the finish. Oh, no,
And
here-
another finish.
Another
Still
finish.
under 40.
Under 40 minutes. Impressive time by Hannah. Congratulations, Hannah.
And there might still be some finishes rolling in before the
Yeah,
40-minute
I
mark.
think there was, maybe here we have another one by Saskia.
Just a couple of pieces left. And
That
it
is
might be
no.
just over 40.
Just over 40 minutes.
But we do get Florian also
Florian.
finished. I don't think Florian. I think it might be I can't exactly tell from above. But yes, another finish under 40.
Congratulations here.
Incredible performance, but there was one piece missing.
And now the finishes are
And another
floating
one.
in.
Just over 40 minutes. And
And-
that's exactly what we were talking about, that there's going to be some front runners in the low 30s, and then we just get the wave of finishers with the 40-minute mark approaching.
And also new faces we haven't seen last year or in other competitions. So that is also exciting. Getting when you come to a competition, there's always new people who trained and showing off their talent at speed puzzling at competitions here. And we see the last pieces going in by Lara.
Yeah, the number of competitors has basically doubled since last year.
Yeah.
It's an immense amount of people taking part in this competition.
Yeah, and you see everybody's happy for each other when they finish. So also Lara and Julia there. And
Yes. Those people who have been to speed puzzle competitions might have already experienced it, that you tend to form a bond with your table mate very often. So especially if you are very close in time, you can pull each other very well. I did have that with 2 table mates at different competitions where we were basically filling in the last pieces together, which is, it kind of creates a bond.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you get to speak with new people every single time you go to these competitions. Another close to finisher with basically just the green area left again at 41-45.
Yeah, and both are finishing on the greens.
It is more than about 25 pieces, I think. I would rather say it's about 40-50 pieces for that left side woods.
Yeah, and Johanna congratulations on your finish.
42 minutes.
40 minutes, impressive time.
We just get this huge wave of finishers. You can most likely imagine that we have a camera crew who is zooming around the entire area of the competition and trying to catch all the finishers. But obviously, there's, I think, more finishers now as our camera crew. So they are doing their best to run around and catch everyone as much as possible.
And you can see here that how big the venue is, and 220 people participating. And then here we see Björn finishing now.
Seems like there's a piece missing.
Yeah, there's a piece missing.
But he doesn't seem to panic. He's just like, oh, the piece is done.
And he is done.
42-47.
Congratulations, Björn. Björn was also commentating last year some rounds of the German Championship. Congratulations, Björn.
And has also organized the competition earlier this year in Hamburg.
In Hamburg, yeah, and it was a success and it was really cool. Great puzzle selection and just a really, really good competition.
Yes, very often at competitions organized by speed puzzlers. So if the organizer really gets a wide variety of choice, you can very much see if it was a speed puzzler picking the puzzles or not.
Yeah, and here we see a nice split screen of the finishers.
And another finisher.
Another finisher here. Yeah, and we see now two finishers. Also on the right side, we see the next finish. The last pieces are going in.
And I do see a comment saying that they never expected speed puzzling or a puzzling live stream to be this exciting to watch. And I think a lot of people have experienced that. Very many people found speed puzzling through YouTube live streams of various competitions or summary videos from YouTubers. And it does turn out to be way more exciting to watch than you would actually think. And I would go so far and say that that's one of the magic of speed puzzling, that it brings this very solitary activity into a community, and it makes it very, very exciting to watch. And we're seeing Patrick finishing the last couple of pieces. Also a very strong speed puzzler from Switzerland.
From Switzerland, yeah. And here we see Ramona. Ramona, congratulations on your finish and the puzzle pickup. A half puzzle pickup.
A half puzzle pickup.
And here
Almost
we see
managed.
the beautiful boxes and the beautiful image here in this view. A good angle by our camera crew.
Yes, I do think we're going to be seeing that this puzzle is going to be a fan favorite as well. It's a very good image that can appeal to a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Illustrations are anime very popular in general, but this is something unique that I think everyone is going to be happy about.
But I'm curious if we see photographs or maybe a round puzzle. I'm excited. Maybe what puzzles the organizers have chosen for this competition.
Well, I'm going to go out and bravely say, and then maybe be proven wrong, but I don't think there's going to be round puzzles this year. For those who have been watching last year, that was the big surprise of the event, that all preliminary round had round puzzles, which I don't think anyone really expected.
And we had 3 or 4 rounds last year?
4, I think.
4. There we had a smaller venue, and then we had 4 preliminary rounds, and then we had 4 different circle of color puzzles.
But I don't think that's going to be the theme this year. I would rather think that the other puzzle is going to be something of a similar style. At least I hope so. I'm puzzling in that round, so I really hope that I'm getting something like this, because it's a kind of puzzle that is easier for me as well.
Yeah, and we see the last piece going by Susanne.
Just 2 pieces left. Go, go, go.
And done. Congratulations. 46 minutes. And he is gone. And you can hear also the people are only cheering for the top runners. They're always supportive for everybody who's finished. And yeah, we had halfway through the puzzles, so we had the 46-minute mark, and here we see the last 15 pieces or so.
I also think that we can comfortably say that we have at least 40 finishers already for this round, and we're still under 50 minutes. So it is important to say that it's it's an insane performance to have such extremely fast times. And we're getting another guest for this round of competition. Welcome to Franziska Treba.
Hallo.
Hallo Franziska. Franziska, du trittst an als amtierende deutsche Jugendmeisterin. Wie fühlt es sich an, als Titelverteidigerin zu einem Wettbewerb zu kommen?
Also es ist schon ein bisschen herausfordernd, das jetzt wieder zu schaffen. Aber ich freue mich jetzt einfach, das jetzt letztes Jahr geschafft zu haben und jetzt wieder zu machen.
Wir haben gerade Lydia gesehen, die unter den Top 10 war, die letztes Jahr Zweite wurde. Also die Konkurrenz hat nicht geschlafen, wie man sieht. Aber wie war denn deine Vorbereitung vielleicht zur Deutschen Meisterschaft?
Also ich habe seit Anfang des Jahres jetzt viele Puzzle einfach trainiert und versucht jeden Tag ein Puzzle zu machen und jetzt hoffentlich bin ich gut vorbereitet.
The question, since Franziska is the junior champion of Germany of last year, the first question was obviously whether it is stressful to have to defend the title this year. And she is saying that it's very exciting, but there's also a little bit of pressure in having to perform. And she's just hoping to do as well as last year. But Mika pointed out that competition hasn't been asleep since last year, and times have been just increasingly decreasing. So the times have been getting shorter in the completion of puzzles, and she is conquering that. And basically Franz is saying that she has just been training a lot since the beginning of the year and hoping to be able to perform as well in the next round where she's competing as she is.
Als du das Puzzle gesehen hast, jetzt aus der Runde A, hast du jetzt ja nicht gepuzzelt. Wie findest du das Puzzle und womit hättest du begonnen bei diesem Puzzle?
Also ich habe mir noch keine Taktik überlegt, wie ich es machen würde. Okay. Aber ich finde es ein sehr schönes Motiv, sehr schön gemalt oder eine Zeichnung. Und ich glaube, ich würde nach Farbenblocks gehen, also vielleicht mit dem Himmel oder dem Planeten anfangen. Auf jeden Fall das Grün mit den Bäumen zum Schluss zu machen. Ich glaube, das haben wir auch bei fast allen gesehen, dass das Schwierigste ist. Und nicht mit dem Rand anfangen vielleicht, sondern eher nach Farbe gehen und dann ein bisschen von oben nach unten gehen.
The question was basically about the puzzle of when she has seen the image, whether she thought about a strategy at all. And Franz is saying she didn't, not really. She likes the image because it's a very beautiful illustration. And most likely, if she was puzzling it, she would not do the edge first, rather sort for color blocks and probably start with the sky and the planets, and most likely, as everybody else, basically work on the trees at the very end of the puzzle.
Und wir sind jetzt in Pforzheim. Letztes Jahr waren wir in Leonberg. Was hältst du denn von der neuen Halle hier? Also von dem neuen Veranstaltungsort, von der neuen Veranstaltungshalle?
Also ich finde die Halle sehr schön, weil sie so groß ist und mehr Teilnehmer mitmachen können. Und ich finde es auch gut, dass es so eine Empore gibt. Also es gibt viele Zuschauer, die jetzt in der ersten Runde, habe ich auch ein bisschen zugeschaut und applaudiert. Und eine schöne große Halle, wo man auch mal in die frische Luft gehen kann und viel Platz hat.
The question was about the new venue and being in Pforzheim. How she finds the new environment to puzzle in. And basically Franziska says that the venue is very beautiful, it's very spacious, and it is lovely to have more people in the competition to be able to puzzle together and to have more participants in the competition itself. But what's also very nice is to be in an area where a lot of spectators can also watch. So people from the street can also come in and think about what speed puzzling is and just watch the competition.
Wie geht's heute? Also du startest ja gleich in Runde B in deinem Einzel, aber du wirst ja auch im Team teilnehmen. Mit wem nimmst du denn teil? Wie heißt dein Team?
Ich nehme mit dem Team Pixel Perfect teil. Das sind Maja, Lena und Valerie. Lena und Valerie haben auch gerade schon in der ersten Runde gepuzzelt. Und ich und Maja puzzeln gleich in der zweiten Runde zusammen. Und ich freue mich sehr aufs Team. Wir sind ein gut eingespieltes Team und es wird bestimmt ganz viel Spaß machen heute.
The question was about how she's going to be going with the rest of the day, because she's going to be competing in round B and then also participate in the team competition, obviously. And Franziska says that her team is called Pixel Perfect, so that's the team that you're going to have to watch out for. and she's puzzling together with Valerie, Lena and Maya. Lena and Maya were puzzling in this round already.
Lena and Valerie.
Lena and Valerie, wrong notes. And Lena and Valerie have already completed this puzzle, and then her and Maya are going to be puzzling in the next round. So it's going to be a jam-packed puzzling day for all of them.
Dann vielen Dank, Franziska, für das Interview. Danke, dass du vorbeigeschaut hast. Und wir wünschen dir ganz viel Erfolg für die Runde B und natürlich auch im Team dann für das Team Pixel Perfect.
Dankeschön, viel Spaß noch.
Dankeschön.
Thank you very much. And we're going to be returning to the competition just to see what is going on in the room still. We are over 52 minutes now, and I think we comfortably have 100 people finished. I don't think we have caught everyone on camera. We are going to take a look at the results while we're here in our live stream booth.
And yeah, while that, we see Anne who's also finished at under 53 minutes, so really impressive. And we see Matthias here, Matthias Haselu, having a great shirt here, the puzzle engineer on Instagram. He has great content on Instagram, and yeah, he is going to finish.
Been speeding up. I think last year with a time of an hour you could still easily make it into a final, but now you have to be somewhere around 50. I think 55 is going to be the cutoff point. Here we have so many finishers, and Matthias has finished as well. If you have been following the Puzzle Engineer on Instagram, he's been training very hard here. So all of these puzzlers that are here, they didn't just fall in from the street to puzzle. There's a lot of preparation and training into completing these puzzles so fast.
And now it's done.
One piece was hidden on top of the puzzle.
Yeah, one piece was on the puzzle itself.
A big nightmare of a lot of people to have puzzle pieces on top of the puzzle.
Yeah, but some puzzlers also tend to have puzzle pieces on the puzzle, so that's also a strategy for someone.
There's also just yes, so many ways to go around completing these puzzles. As you can see, everyone has their own personal way of puzzling, some with boards, some with puzzle pieces on top of the puzzle. Whatever works for you. And that's also a very nice thing about speed puzzling, that there's no pre-written formula of how you have to puzzle. As long as you complete the puzzle in the given amount of time, you're good.
Yeah, definitely. So there are different strategies, and you have to find your own way, and you have to feeling comfortable doing a puzzle. And yeah, some strategies work for one and not for the other. So you have to practice and to just find your way and your strategies on puzzling.
And we did see some very thorough sorting as well. I think it was even a kind of shape sorting before, which is also something that you can do as long as it helps you. Another puzzler, Vanessa Brümmer, also from Germany, working on the last stretch of the puzzle with about 20 pieces left on those woods on the side. I don't think we have seen anyone so far who was working on the green first.
Yeah, that's true. And now we see Alexandra. Alexandra, who is going to fit in the last pieces, 5 or so, 4 or 2 pieces left, and the last one. Congratulations, Alexandra.
With still a very good chance to be in the finals.
Yeah, definitely. That could be now. It's getting close. The last spots in for the final are getting given away. But yeah, maybe they have the chance to get a spot in the final.
Just a reminder, there's 220 people puzzling in the room in this round, and 110 of them are going to be advancing into the final. So that's 50% of the competitors.
Yeah, and here we see Silke, a nice view from the top, putting in the last 5 pieces. And
we're just seeing so many people on their last pieces.
And we see really cool outfits like this shirt with puzzle pieces by Christina, and that's looking also very good. And last pieces in, 2 of them. Oh,
Oops.
and there was a piece on the puzzle.
Yet again. Yes, these competitions give you a very good chance to show off your puzzle gear as well.
Yeah, definitely. And today in the afternoon we see the teams round, and I'm expecting to see some night outfits there, team outfits there. And the Puzzle Association also doing a puzzle outfit competition, just going around the social media team and just cheering up the best outfits. So go on Instagram and check also there. There will be a lot of more additional content besides the live stream here.
Yes, it also, I wouldn't say it turns into a contest of,
No, not contest,
of what
Just
kind
a
of puzzle
highlight.
gear you get, but it is just highlighting that, yeah, the team uniforms are always extremely fun to watch. You're going to see a lot of costumes and insane puzzle decoration all over, and it's just another area of the competition that makes it fun for the participants.
And we see Laura filling in the last pieces.
You might also notice that we're going further and further in the room physically, because there is a little bit of strategic thought
Alignment.
behind the table arrangements. So those who have been performing very strongly before were placed in the beginning of the room to make it easier for the camera crew to follow the competition. And then basically we get a mixture of everybody else.
Jen is just randomly,
And we're closing into 1 hour very soon. We're at 58 minutes and 47 seconds, and the finishes are just rolling in. And there's a very nice puzzle pickup.
That worked very well by Janine.
It's also a thing
Congratulations,
that a
yeah.
lot of people do to pick up the puzzles at the very end. Obviously, you're proud of your performance and you want to show off the puzzle that you have just completed. It can sometimes go very wrong, where you just lift the edges or you drop the whole thing, but that's also part of it. So
Yeah, and the best tip is just to put pressure on it. So, and just not to hold it up loose, but also give it a little stretch, and then it works really good.
It's the stretch and lift technique.
Stretch and lift technique, yeah. And we see another finish by Sabrina. Congratulations, Sabrina. And she's really happy about her time. Under 1 hour, so that is really impressive for a 500-piece puzzle. So, congratulations here. And another one under the 1 hour.
And it
Mark.
seems like there's a missing piece.
And there's a missing piece, but maybe she just takes the penalty of 5 seconds.
For those who are tuning in for a speed puzzle competition for the very first time, it's important to note that we are highlighting these 1 hour, 50 minute, 40 minutes, because in your speed puzzling journey, as you are practicing more and more, and we're hitting the 1 hour mark. So as you're practicing more and more, there are these milestones for all the speed puzzle competitors. At first, it's really, your goal is to finish the puzzle on time. And then with more and more practice, it starts becoming, the milestone starts becoming the 1 hour, and then the 50 minutes, and then you might even be able to get faster and faster.
But we have to also add, it depends really on the puzzle. So there are images which are really speedy, and then there are some puzzles which are really complicated, and then even doing it under 90 minutes is a big achievement. So,
Definitely. We, at the very first larger speed puzzle competition in Germany, it was such a case where you had a puzzle that was an extremely challenging image, and I think we had 120 competitors and only 12 finished, or somewhere around the 10. So
Yeah.
there are not very many people, and then you had a lot of people count pieces. And here it's also good to point out we have a time limit of 1 hour and 30 minutes, and even if you don't finish your puzzle in a given time, you are going to count the remaining pieces to see how much progress you have made, so you are still going to be in the ranking if you didn't finish your puzzle.
Yeah, and then it's you have to not it doesn't have to be connected at the whole image, but when you have 3 connected pieces, it counts. So if you have only 1 or 2 pieces, then that's the remaining pieces. But when you have sections about 3 puzzles and more, then this counts also. And here we see another finish on the last 10 pieces or so. Here we see also finishers
Another piece missing.
and the piece is missing. But
There can be various reasons for why pieces are missing. One, it can be a manufacturing error, unfortunately, but it can also be that the competitor was a little bit too fast to pour out the pieces from the bag, for example, or in the big excitement. We are seeing Geka on the screen.
we see Mika
Puzzle Fuchs.
Fox, yeah, and with the last 8 pieces or so.
Yes, so there might be a competitor who is just too excited and just moving too much, and with an unfortunate movement they just flip a piece off of the table, so you're going to be, resulting in a missing piece. It's not the end of the world. And Geka is finished. Incredible job. And we are going to be getting another guest very soon. We're setting up the environment. Again, we're going to have a German interview
Yeah,
here.
a German
so
interview.
I'm going to be interpreting again, and Michael is going to be interviewing our next guest.
Hallo.
Hallo. Stell dich gerne einmal kurz vor.
Ja, hallo, ich bin Alina Fietz, ich bin 26 Jahre alt, ich komme aus Flensburg und ich bin das erste Mal auf so einer Meisterschaft.
Also das erste Mal auf einer Meisterschaft.
Ja.
Wie war es? Du hast jetzt gerade teilgenommen.
Ja, also ich bin noch am Zittern. Ich bin gerade fertig geworden.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Dankeschön. Es war super aufregend. Also ich habe viel geübt, aber mit zitternden Händen 1 Stunde lang habe ich nicht geübt. Das hätte ich fürs nächste Mal weiß ich Bescheid.
Okay, was war denn, also 1 Stunde hast du ungefähr gebraucht? 1 Stunde, ja, herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Danke.
Und ja, für die erste Meisterschaft, wo du hingehst, sehr starke Zeit ich bin beeindruckt.
Dankeschön.
So we have a first-timer as our guest. Alina Fietz is from Flensburg and is 26 years old, and it was her very first puzzle championship. So she has been speed puzzling for a little while, so she has been preparing for the competition. But the one thing that she was not preparing for is the excitement and the shaking hands that make competing very difficult from time to time. Yeah.
Du kommst aus Flensburg. Wie war denn deine Anreise? Wahrscheinlich bist du gestern angereist.
Ich bin sogar am Donnerstag schon losgefahren.
Donnerstag.
Ja, ich bin mit meiner Mama gefahren. Dann haben wir eine Nacht in Kassel übernachtet und dann sind wir quasi in 2 Etappen gefahren.
In 2 Etappen, okay.
Gestern nach Karlsruhe und dann heute hierher.
Karlsruhe, okay, da übernachtet ihr dann.
Ja.
Aha, okay, sehr gut. Wie war denn deine Reaktion, als du das Puzzle ausgepackt hast? Also was waren die ersten Gedanken, die dir durch den Kopf geschossen sind, als du es gesehen hast?
Also der erste Gedanke war, Gott sei Dank sind da schöne Formen drauf, die man gut puzzeln kann. Und der zweite Gedanke, oha, sehr viel Grün. Ich glaube, Grün ist mein Kryptonit, das kann ich irgendwie nicht so gut erkennen. Und ich weiß nicht, ob man es gesehen hat, aber hier gerade die Bäume waren die letzten Minuten, habe ich schon sehr lange für gebraucht, muss ich sagen.
The question was basically, at first, since she's coming from Flensburg, how was the trip? And basically, Alina was traveling for 2 days, so she already left from home on Thursday, and basically traveled with her mom to the competition. And then the next question was her feelings when she opened the bag. And there, basically, her very first thought was, yay! There's very nice shapes and there's a lot of things that you can do. And then her second thought was, oh my God, that's a lot of green. And as we have most likely seen for most of the competitors on the screen as well, the trees are very challenging to do. So there's a lot of these patterns that are extremely difficult, and then the nerves of finishing on those is also adding to the difficulty.
Womit hast du denn dann begonnen bei dem Puzzle? Hast du erst mit dem Rand begonnen oder wie ist deine generelle Strategie? Machst du immer erst den Rand oder variiert das je nach Puzzle?
Meine Strategie ist, ich mache das, was ich als erstes sehe. Und ich habe angefangen zu sortieren, ein bisschen den Rand rauszusortieren. Dann habe ich mit dem angefangen, habe aber gemerkt, irgendwie komme ich da nicht so weit. Und dann habe ich angefangen, diesen Strand zu puzzeln, weil der relativ einfach war von den Farben her. Und habe dann das Muster unten. Sieht man das Bild im Livestream? Okay.
Du kannst auch noch einmal, genau. Ich halte es einfach mal, genau, dann kannst du es.
Genau, und dann hier quasi was ist das, ein Wohnmobil mit dem Kanu, genau. Und dann das blaue Wasser, ich kann quasi von unten abgucken.
So the question was basically about the strategy, and her strategy is basically that she's going to be doing what she sees first. So at first she sorted the edge, as a lot of the competitors, and she didn't do it all the way to the end because somehow it didn't feel like it was progressing as fast as expected. So she ended up moving over to the bottom right with the border of the water and then that beach, and progressing over to that scene with the camper van.
Ja.
Wie geht es denn für dich weiter? Nimmst du noch jetzt teil auch am Paarwettbewerb, im Teamwettbewerb?
Ich wünschte, es wäre so. Ich wollte eigentlich mit meiner Mama puzzeln. Liebe Grüße. Aber vielleicht nächstes Jahr.
Okay, das heißt,
Müssen wir noch ein bisschen mehr vorbereiten.
werden wir vorbereiten oder waren die Plätze dann auch schon vergeben?
Nee, wir haben also als ich mich angemeldet habe, waren noch genügend Plätze da. Und dann haben wir aber gesagt, wir müssen noch mal ein bisschen üben zusammen. Wir haben immer sehr einzeln geübt. Früher natürlich in der Kindheit viel zusammen. Aber ja, das müssen wir dann noch mal challengen für nächstes Jahr.
The question is how it's going to progress from here with the competition, whether she's going to be participating in new rounds, and unfortunately not. Alina's plan was to compete in the pairs round with her mom, but they basically found that they need a little bit more preparation to be able to do that, because even though they have practiced a bit, it felt like it would be a little bit too much to participate in this round.
Eine letzte Frage.
Ja.
Wie bist du zum Speedpuzzling gekommen? Also wie bist du darauf aufmerksam geworden und seit wann trainierst du denn jetzt dann Speedpuzzling?
Also gepuzzelt habe ich schon immer seit meiner Kindheit, und ich habe oft so die Komplimente bekommen, dass ich gut im Puzzeln bin. Und es war auch in der Vergangenheit immer so, dass wenn jemand mit seinem Puzzle nicht weitergekommen ist, hat er mich angerufen und ich musste vorbeikommen und das fertig machen. Und dass es diesen Wettbewerb gibt, habe ich letztes Jahr gesehen. Aber als die Meisterschaft halt war, wie das so immer so ist,
ja.
Ne? Man merkt es erst im Nachhinein. Und ja, seitdem trainiere ich.
One last question was how Alina has come to do speed puzzling, and basically, as a lot of competitors, she has been a lifelong puzzler, puzzling since her childhood, and she was always good at it in the sense that in the past, when friends would not be able to finish a puzzle, they would basically call her to finish the difficult puzzle, and that's basically how she ended up doing a lot of puzzles, and then just finding speed puzzling in the past and starting to train.
Vielen Dank, Alina.
Ja, auch vielen Dank.
Wir hoffen, dass du ins Finale gekommen bist. Weißt du das schon?
Nee.
Okay.
Also mal gucken.
Wir drücken die Daumen, dass es vielleicht gereicht hat fürs Finale.
Dankeschön.
Dann sehen wir dich vielleicht im Finale nochmal.
Super, Dankeschön.
Vielen Dank.
Thank you so much to Alina. we hope you made it into the finals. We're going to have to see from the results and hopefully see you in the final round.
Ja, vielen Dank. Viel Erfolg noch hier.
Dankeschön.
Thank you.
Tschüss.
And we have been seeing just so many finishers the entire time that we were chatting with Alina. We are nearing the 1 hour and 10 minute mark now. 20 minutes remaining, well, basically 21 minutes remaining of the competition. And can we clear the room is the next question.
That was the question I had in my head. Maybe. There are not much puzzlers left, but we have to see. So maybe there are beginners and so we have to see if we can clear the room. Maybe it is a puzzle that can clear the room.
I think it is a puzzle that can clear the room. As all the competitors here were saying, there is that one challenging part on the side with the green trees, but they are not impossible to do, and it's not that many pieces left. So hopefully we're going to be seeing a room cleared.
And
that's something we always strive for. Barbara is also finishing her
Yes,
puzzle.
we see Barbara finishing here, and Verena has finished. Congratulations.
Pretty much the same second.
Same second, yeah.
Yes, clearing the room is something that we also strive for. We really hope that that happens. The organizers, the puzzlers, everyone wants to see everyone finish their puzzle to feel success. It's a very supportive environment.
And it will be interesting if we can clear the room on Sunday with only in the final with 75 minutes.
I think that's definitely doable.
Yeah, I think so too.
Considering the level of the competition.
Yeah, the level of competition, yeah, but it depends on the puzzle. Maybe it's a tricky one.
We hope not.
Maybe it's a big bug. No.
We're going to have to hope that it's a puzzle that can clear the room.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, it's also good that you are pointing it out that there's a different time limit in the finals. So in the preliminary rounds, we do
it's everybody gets a puzzle. You only have to choose who gets which puzzle.
Yes, it is going to be kind of a mini marathon, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not easy. So it does make it faster for 4 people to work on the 1,000-piece puzzles, but to complete all those puzzles in the given time limit is going to be challenging.
Yeah, and I think my prediction is that we don't clear the room.
Most likely not. Also, I like to call the team rounds the party round, which is a very good opportunity for people to come together.
Just having fun.
Yes, exactly.
That is the main goal. Team competitions and also pairs. It's just having fun, having a good time, and doing the hobby in the competition setting. But it's not always about winning. It's just the main goal is just to come here, meeting friends, having fun, and doing exactly that. And the atmosphere is really great and also supportive. Even now in the later stage of this competition, when somebody finished, we hear cheers up, and that is really good and really great here.
And basically, for the team competition, you don't necessarily have to know people to be able to participate in the team competition. During the registration period, the association also provided a chance for people to sign up for a team finder if they didn't know anyone and they just felt like coming to the event themselves. So there are some people who might be puzzling here for the first time together.
Yeah, definitely. That is always the case at competitions. And the day before the competition, when you go to restaurants, cafes, or even in the hotel lobbies, then they are teaming up and preparing and doing a preparation puzzle, maybe for the first time. And the good thing about the venue here is that there are also a lot of tables. Not in the main hall, but in the entry hall, and there you can also practice. So we'll have a break. Later you can go to the Ravensburger shop, get a puzzle there, and there's also some discounted puzzles, and then just doing a team practice in the break. So that could be also is an opportunity here in this new venue.
And also, just walking around in Pforzheim, it has been an experience, I think, for most of the people that have come here for the weekend. If you look through restaurant windows or hotel lobbies, you're going to be seeing puzzles on tables pretty much everywhere. So puzzlers have flooded the city, and they're puzzling anywhere pretty much where they can find a flat surface.
Yeah, and you see Marcus finished here, and we have another finish. And we hear the cheering up here at the 1 hour and 15-minute mark, and Dominic finished his puzzle and looking really happy. And do we see a puzzle pick up?
We might be seeing a puzzle pick up.
Yeah,
there
we see
it is.
Really
yes.
Good. And
there's also photographers walking around, so there's people posing for pictures as well. They're not just lifting it for random. Before you start thinking about it.
Yeah, but then you have a good memory about your competition and the puzzle you have done.
And another finisher.
Another finisher. Congratulations, Christine.
Incredible performance from everyone. And also, we have less than 15 minutes left of this round.
Yeah, 15 minutes left here, or 14 minutes now, 14 minutes left. And I'm curious how many people are left in the room. Maybe 20 or so. We had a lot of finishers.
We do have a lot of finishers.
And we see here.
I am checking.
You're checking the
here.
results?
We have 171 finishers already.
Already, and so they're getting, we see it here, they get noted on paper and then brought up to the officials, and then they enter it on the website. So there will be, there is a delay, so the paper's coming in, and so maybe, when we see in the background, maybe 20 people could be the number of people who are puzzling. And here we see Leonie, one of the youngest puzzlers, 11 years old, and having done this guy completed and the planets, and that's looking promising. For 11 years old, that was quite impressive.
Yes, of course. We have seen on some championships that they have a separate children's competition for children under, I think, 16, or maybe even
14?
Closer to 10. So for younger children, and those are actually very adorable competitions where you get either 100 pieces or 200 pieces. I think in Belgium the parents could also let the organizers know of the children's skills, so they were not even really comparing their puzzles in a sense. It was basically about just having the kids also participate, which is a very nice sentiment.
Yeah, and it's good because the kids are just going with their parents. The parents maybe are participating, and then they can also having fun at one of the competitions. So that is really cool to have that. And here we see the last 15 pieces. And Sabine has done the image and the sky, sorry, and also most of the beach, and now collecting the water pieces.
I love the hairdo there with the different color hairbands.
Yeah, that looked really good.
Jürgen Schürmann also doing his best to conquer as much of the puzzle as possible. With the end of the time limit nearing, it's also, as Michael has already explained once the time runs out, everything that is connected, all pieces that are connected that are 3 pieces together, so at least 3, count as completed. So at this time of the competition, if you see that you're not going to be able to finish your puzzle, it might also be a good idea to try and start connecting as many pieces as you can, not even placing them inside the puzzle if you can't find a place for them. Just try and make groups of 3, because that also gives you a completion of the puzzle. So basically, in theory, you could have someone not even complete the puzzle, just do groups of 3. I have just thought of this.
Yeah, that could be. You could do that. Maybe you want to try that in your art.
At one point, you might want to try that.
We are just kidding and seeing the next finishers. And here on the split screen, we see 2 finishers.
And there was a question in the chat, and I'm going to try and answer that. If you want to see the results of the competition, you can go on to the website of the German Puzzle Association, which is puzzleverein.de. So puzzleverein.de. And basically there you can go and select the German Championship as the competition, and there you're going to be able to find the results for each round. So they are all being uploaded.
So, wir haben jetzt noch eine Restzeit von 10 Minuten.
10 minutes left, yeah.
This is when it also starts getting really stressful. If you still don't have your puzzle finished at this time and you hear that 10-minute mark, you do get an extra sense of pressure from outside to hopefully finish your puzzle. But also at this time, the spectators usually get way more supportive.
Yeah, definitely. It's really crazy when we will hear that and the last finishers maybe in the last minutes or last seconds completed. Sometimes they even get more excitement than the first finisher. So that is really, really cool and supportive. And we see here Silke, who is really, really happy about finishing her puzzle. And congratulations. And yeah, you can be proud of your achievement.
It's very important to point out that even though the first finishers and the top 10 and the qualifiers, they have all made it look easy to do a puzzle in under 50 minutes, I would say. But it's not normal to be able to do that. It's a very, very difficult skill to get a puzzle done that fast. So everyone who gets to puzzle here and even do just half the puzzle in that time is faster than for a lot of people who just open a puzzle at home and maybe work on it for weeks.
Yeah, definitely. It's really impressive just to do it under the 90-minute marks. And even when you're not finished, but you have 400 to 450 pieces or so, that is still impressive. And yeah, you have to just not compare, just coming here, having fun and doing your best and having a good time. So that is the most important thing.
It is a very good sentiment that when you are at a puzzle competition, you're not really competing against anybody else. Obviously, for the spots in the final, you are. That's just the structure of the competition. But as you're there at the table with your puzzle, you are basically competing with the puzzle more than the other people. And that's also why you get this super supportive atmosphere as well, because people want you to be able to conquer the puzzle.
And we see a finish by Christine. Congratulations, Christine. And she's also really happy to have finished the puzzle. Congratulations, Christina.
I also want to point out that the spectators are really persistent with the applause. You do get applause for pretty much everyone who finishes on screen.
Yeah, but it's also, so we have just a seating area above, so the spectators have a great view on the tables. It's not on the same level, so that is really good. Now we can see that. So the spectators can overview the complete hall and see when a judge is going to a table and seeing then when somebody is finished. So that helps a lot. So really good choice by the Puzzle Association for the venue.
It does make it very professional from further away. And they're also slowly, I think, going to start preparing the front tables already, at least, for the second round of the competition, just to save some time between rounds. And there's another finisher. And
but, two pieces are missing, two edge pieces.
That might be a manufacturing error, for example.
That could be a manufacturing error, but the good thing is when you have that, then Ravensburger also give you a replacement of the puzzle, so that is also really good. That when somebody, sometimes manufacturing errors happen, and then you can contact Ravensburger and they will replace that.
Yes, that is always possible. Yeah, there is a process for that to get pieces replaced. It's a good option for competitors to have that, because especially if it's not your fault, it can be very irritating to have a missing piece. I can't exactly remember right now what rules we have at the competition this time, whether there's a penalty for missing pieces.
When there's a penalty noted or how many pieces are missing, but when they are connected and it's leading to a manufacturing error, then Bernd Holler, the chief judge, I say, then he will decide how to progress with the manufacturing error, if that counts or not. So yeah, then it's chosen individually, but when it's proven, then it's some connecting parts are missing, that's manufacturing error, then it shouldn't count in the penalty.
And we're seeing another finisher, Emily Keller, who was also looking for a missing puzzle piece, but it was on the puzzle again. So a very good tip for whoever is speed puzzling: as soon as you see a piece missing, first thing you do is not jump under the table to start looking for pieces, but you actually stroke your puzzle and just try and tap through everything, because your piece might be hiding on the puzzle itself.
And it could be the case that not only pieces are missing, it could be sometimes manufacturing errors happen that you got more pieces in your bag. So one person is missing some pieces or in one puzzle and you got them. And that could be super irritating when you're puzzling and then you think, oh, this piece I already got. And then you're searching, oh, is it maybe on another spot on the puzzle? And yeah, that could be also the case. Not only pieces missing, but also that you get some extra pieces.
And we have less than 5 minutes remaining. We're seeing Pedro Maia from Portugal finishing his puzzle with 4 minutes to spare, which is a great performance as well. Yeah. The closer you get to the finishing time, the more applause you get. So that might also be something that people strive for. But we are, yes, nearing the end of the round, and we didn't clear the room, and I don't think we're exactly going to. I did see some people who might not exactly make it with the amount of pieces that are left, but every piece counts. So those who don't finish their puzzle on time are still going to be in the ranking with the piece count being shown of how much of the puzzle they have completed. So that also counts into the ranking.
Yep, and then we have the ranking of the 220 people. And here we see Leonie having good progress from the last showing of her, and yeah, having done the sky and the beach and now tackling the greens. and yeah, looking really good here. And we see Ronja. Ronja, you have 3 minutes. You can assemble the last 15 pieces. Go,
That is
Ronja.
still doable.
Yeah, that is still doable. I think we see a finish here by Ronja in the next 1 or 2 minutes.
And you can also see that the next round of the single preliminary is going to start at 11:15. So there's going to be a little break in the competition. Once this round has finished, they do have to lay out the next round of puzzles, so everyone can also set up for their next competition.
And you see a QR code also, with all the information about the event, and yeah, then you get the results you can check on there. So scan the QR code, and then you get also a review about the tables, etc., and everything, the timetable, the results, etc. And here we see Ronja with the last pieces. Here we see some of the prizes. So the puzzlers get more puzzles.
What else would you get about? Puzzle Association.
Yeah.
And you can see basically the real-time results as they are coming in. Important to point out.
So, jetzt beginnt die letzte
And
Minute.
Sabine
It's the
can
last
do it.
countdown.
Eine letzte
Sabine,
Minute.
you have 15 pieces. You can do it.
Sabine might
Sabine-
do it in the last 50 seconds.
Maybe, yeah. That could be the key. Yeah, one is in.
It's one last kick of motivation that you have
Yeah,
to have.
Sabine.
It's very, very tight. It's very tight.
Maybe if the last second fit in.
And I do see one very good comment from Mineke, thank you, that number 110 in the ranking was done with 57:49. So you had to have a time way under an hour to get into the final.
Thank you, Mineke. Thank you for
That is very
information.
good, pointing that out. Thanks so much.
That means Alina didn't make it.
That means Alina might not have made it.
Yeah, but we have Sabine.
8, 7,
And with
6,
just 6 seconds
5,
left, 4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1, Ende!
And it's just 4
It's
pieces
done.
left.
No.
It was so close.
It was really close.
It was so close.
Okay, and
Now the remaining competitors are going to count their pieces, and that's also going to be shown in the results as well. So nobody's going to be forgotten, and that's what we're going to do before setting up for the next round of the competition.
And we have to say thank you for being part of the live stream, for commentating in the live stream, and we wish you fun for the next round. And see you later. And Fruji, good luck for you puzzling in round B.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to be competing in the next round. So yes, you're going to be seeing different hosts for the next round, and we're very excited to welcome you back for the German Championships.
Thank you.
Das ist die Puzzleproduktion von Ravensburger. Und wie entsteht hier ein Puzzle? Alles beginnt in einem Redaktionsmeeting. Hier werden Zielgruppe, Teilezahl und das grobe Thema für das neue Puzzle festgelegt. Dazu gibt es erste Skizzen und ein Moodboard. Hat sich das Team geeinigt, ist der Illustrator dran. Das ist Jonas Jödecke, Illustrator und ein echter Experte für Fantasy und Naturmotive.
Auf die Idee dafür komme ich, wenn ich dann draußen im Wald zum Beispiel spazieren gehe und ich sehe, wie die Sonne durch die Blätter schön scheint. Und das inspiriert mich so sehr, dass ich dann nach Hause gehe und mich direkt hinsetze und anfange zu skizzieren.
Jonas beginnt mit einfachen Layouts. Je nach Motiv dauert die finale Ausarbeitung zwischen 10 und 150 Stunden. Knapp 100 waren es beim magischen Hirsch. Am Ende bleiben 3 bis 4 Bilder, die sich nur leicht voneinander unterscheiden. Und die gehen jetzt wieder zurück an die Puzzle-Redaktion. Hier wählt die zuständige Redakteurin das finale Motiv aus und achtet dabei nochmal auf ganz bestimmte Details.
Ein gutes Puzzlemotiv muss sich natürlich nicht nur gut puzzeln lassen, es muss auch ansprechend aussehen. Um jetzt das Beste aus unserem Motiv hier herauszuholen, passe ich noch ein paar Details in Photoshop an, zum Beispiel Helligkeit und Farbe, damit unser Puzzler am Ende das beste Puzzleerlebnis hat, was er bekommen kann.
Die eigentliche Herstellung des Puzzles beginnt erst jetzt. In dieser Druckmaschine entsteht gleich der magische Hirsch. Und zwar im Vierfarbdruck auf leinengeprägtem Spezialpapier. Das sorgt dafür, dass das Motiv nicht reflektiert und spiegelt. Übrigens, unser Papier stammt zu 100% aus nachhaltiger Forstung. Unter anderem aus dem Schwarzwald in Süddeutschland. Aber zurück zur Puzzleherstellung. 18.000 solcher Bögen schafft die Maschine pro Stunde. Doch bevor der Drucker Vollgas gibt, prüft er haargenau jedes Detail und die korrekten Farbwerte. Passt's? Na dann los! Zum Puzzeln ist das Papier so natürlich noch viel zu dünn. Deshalb wird es jetzt kaschiert. So heißt der Vorgang, bei dem der Motivbogen von Pressbändern auf den zuvor mit Leim bestrichenen, stabilen, blauen Ravensburger Karton gepresst wird. Und dann wird daraus endlich ein echtes Puzzle. Und zwar so. Erst die Puzzleteile von Hand skizzieren. Dann biegen erfahrene Werkzeugbauer 6 Wochen lang aus 65 Meter langen scharfen Stahlbögen eine Stanzform. Echte Handarbeit. Jede Form ist ein Unikat und kein Puzzleteil gleich dem anderen. Der nächste Schritt, das Stanzen. Dabei zerteilt das messerscharfe Stanzwerkzeug den magischen Hirsch mit einer Wucht von 800 Tonnen in 1000 einzigartige Puzzleteile mit Nischen und Nasen. Damit die Teile später perfekt ineinander passen, ist eine saubere Kante ganz besonders wichtig. Ein Fall für die Qualitätskontrolle. Ist die zufrieden, finden die Puzzleteile ihren Platz in der passenden Schachtel. Die wird übrigens genauso aufwendig hergestellt wie das Puzzle selbst. Der sogenannte Zudeckler verschließt und versiegelt die Puzzleschachteln mit Klebeetiketten, in denen der magische Hirsch auf Weltreise geht. In über 100 Ländern ist er eins von über 2000 Ravensburger Puzzles, bei denen eines immer etwas ganz Besonderes ist. Das allerletzte Puzzleteil.